just because we don't use katana anymore doesn't mean samurai culture is lost. As I mentioned, we need to be respectful, otherwise we're going to have to fight. When we draw katana, one of us will be dead.
In our training, you were using the force of gratitude to actually shift the power that you were able to transmit.
Yeah, I would say gratitude is the strongest force, and I think everything is a gratitude, and human beings somehow have the ability not to have gratitude. All the training in martial arts or samurai training is basically just tap into the body. Like, body is way smarter than us. A lot of people in this society, they're tired. If they're spiritually tired, no matter how long you sleep, it's not going to recover. Our body is working for us and for us to be happy. They're like really doing all the hard work. Like, why we are not giving them the gratitude, especially the heart. The difference between samurai and the difference between modern people right now is we add things, they subtract things. Signal is everywhere, right? But if you are not projecting, nothing's gonna come in. But what kind of signal you want to project? We train so that we can only send the positive signal. So follow the intuition. Nature is not going to treat you bad if you treat nature good though. Can our life get any worse than now? I want people to really think about it. And if the answer is yes, you're not a samurai yet.
Every single moment is an opportunity.
Yes.
It's an opportunity to take a higher choice and learn, or to actually spiral down into like lower thinking. This podcast documents my encounter with real-life samurai Riichi Kitano, who I can only describe as a modern-day Jedi. Not only does he train hours a day in the way of the sword, but of course, there are no sword battles. So what is he doing? He's training his own capability to use these practices that can harness his chi, his life force energy, his gratitude into creating the most optimal life for himself, protecting those around him, and carrying on an unbroken lineage that extends back hundreds and hundreds of years in time. It's been a dream of mine to encounter a real samurai, to understand what makes them operate, what the discipline is required, and what the capabilities are for an individual who has reached that level of mastery. And my mind was absolutely blown. So I can't wait to share this podcast with Sensei Riichi Kitano. Sensei Kitano.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good. So it was such a pleasure to go through some of the exercises and learn your wisdom. Thank you so much. And I want to start this with just acknowledging that I wasn't fully aware that the tradition of the samurai continued once swords were no longer needed for battle.
All right.
So tell me a little bit about your lineage and why the samurai tradition continued so that you're still now a living day samurai, even though you don't use swords for battle.
Right. Basically, yeah, obviously we don't carry swords anymore. It's forbidden to carry. It's illegal in Japan, by the way, to carry it. But the tradition, our school called Katori.shinto.ryu is the oldest martial arts school in Japan. It's more than 500 years old, about 600 years old right now. And we carry the tradition because we practice it. And when people hear about samurai or like fighting with sword, and we're just warriors, but we have a lot of like healing techniques, like how to build a castle, fortune telling, when to start a business, how to treat other people, how to teach things. So, and samurai ruled the country for 700 years, or actually maybe more, 700 years in Japan. So we actually need to know how to govern the country and things like that. So all the tradition was still there. Just because we don't use katana anymore doesn't mean samurai culture is lost, right? And then I was fortunate enough to be born in as a descendant of samurai, my mother's side, and I was raised very strictly and in a traditional way, and that's the martial arts and sword work and all the karate, judo, and things like that came naturally to me. So that's how we carry. Just because we don't have the rank as a samurai anymore in society, that doesn't mean the soul and spirit of samurai is lost. Some of us still do carry, and then we live like that just because It's just happier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a concept called Bushido.
Yes.
Explain to me, because I understand a little bit, but explain from your understanding, like, what does Bushido mean?
So Bushido, Bushi is another way of saying samurai. Right? And Do is a michi, the way, the passage. So we live according to the law of samurai, or the Bushido. And samurai way or Japanese way is living according to the law of nature as well. So it's maybe easier term, I would say, code of honor. So we treat others with respect. As I mentioned, we need to be respectful, otherwise we're going to have to fight. And the fight in the samurai period is drawing katana. When we draw katana, one of us will be dead. We don't want to do that. So we're going to respect others fully so that we can live peacefully. And when we wear hakama, the samurai scars, that is allowed only for samurai. If you're a merchant, if you're a farmer, you cannot wear it. Right? And katana as well, only samurai can carry it. And when you see the pleats of hakama, that's a 7 virtue, right? Jin, gi, re, chi, shin, and the chu, ko in the back, right? So benevolence, and gi is justice, re, courtesy.
So venerance, that's like the honoring of your ancestors,
or
the honoring of
compassion.
compassion.
I would say compassion. Yeah, jin, compassion for other people. And justice, re, courtesy, chi, wisdom, and shin, trust, right? And chu is more like a courteous behavior or loyalty. And then ko is doing good deeds, a good thing for other people or for your parents. So whenever we wear it, we see the 7 pleats, and then we have to make sure, we have to be this, we have to be this. So that's one of the Bushido, or the code of honor. And then obviously the way of samurai is found in death. That's a famous saying from the book called Hagakure, which is written in 1706 or 13, something like that, or 1700. A lot of people think that, samurai, they can just die. No, we live every single moment as if it's the last. So we can cherish it. Like, let's say if you do things, like a lot of people fight or argue or like bicker against each other, right? But if it's the last time, right, all the parents and kids fight, or the friends fight, or the spouse, they fight against each other, we don't do it. If they know, or if I know my wife will be dead in 5 minutes, I'm not going to say anything bad. I'm just going to say I love you, or I'm sorry, and thank you, right? Those 3 things are there if you're facing real death, right? So that's how we live. That's a Bushido to me.
To bring death close.
Yeah, living right next to death, so that we can cherish each moment as if it's the last time.
There's so many traditions, especially warrior traditions, but also some spiritual traditions that have this concept. The Stoics, memento mori, remember that you were going to die. And they were obviously in battle, Marcus Aurelius, and in battle constantly. And the Lakota warriors, Crazy Horse, would say, Nake nula waung, which is, I'm ready for whatever's next. Translated, today is a good day to die, which means I embrace that this may be my last moment. In the Toltec philosophy is, death is the wisest advisor that the warrior has. When he thinks that all is lost, he can ask his death, and death will say it is not so. So there's so many different cultures, and the Hagakure and the Bushido culture is the same. But this is a truth that I think we in the West forget. We're always worried about the past, or worried about the future, and not worried about, like, what if today was in this moment, not even in the whole day. Like, what if this moment was the last moment? What if, as I get on the airplane today, it's the last time I'm never going to get off that airplane. Like, have I said I love you to all the people I need to love?
Right. And on top of that, I think it's what makes us a little different. I mean, all the people who live in the warrior tradition, I think they feel the same way, because we are like really right next to death. But how I live as a samurai, or the code of honor, Bushido, is I don't try to live happy. That is like, I don't care about it. I try to die happy. When you start to do that, it's different. Because if your life is completely fulfilled, until the moment of death. But if you have regret, everything becomes bad, right? I mean, you're married right now, right? If I may ask you, you have failed relationship before, right? I mean, I have failed relationship.
Of course.
And in the first love, maybe in your middle school or high school, when that ends, we didn't like it, do we?
Of course not.
No, right? But without that breakup, I cannot marry my wife right now, right? So seemingly bad thing is actually good, right? So if you are in the moment of death, in the final moment of your life, and if you're happy, no matter how miserable your life is, everything is fine. That's why I want to die happy. That means I have to treat every moment as if it's the last, right? Each meal, right? Each greeting. So that's, to me, is the way of samurai is found in death. Right? That's Bushido right there.
So do you, for somebody listening who wants to live more like this, it first starts with the mental effort of remembering that. And then is it just through practice that it becomes a natural way of living?
Yeah, we have to embody it. For me right now, when I look at modern world, they try to teach things by giving them an instruction of how to ride a bicycle, right? When you need to ride a bicycle, you need to give them a bicycle, and they need to try and they need to fail many times. And seemingly, many people think that they understand just a concept of how to ride a bicycle and never ridden a bicycle, but they think they can. If you want to ride a bicycle, you need to give them a bicycle, right? All the concept and philosophy is like instruction. Can they do it? No, 100% no. With the movement, they can, because they embody it. Because I'm giving them a bicycle to ride. They may fail many times, but eventually they will do it. And that's why there's a gap. And that's why they cannot be happy. Because if you think that this is going to be the last meal or last kiss or like last making love, you're going to cherish it. You're not going to treat the same way, right? So you really need to start embody it. Like when you drink a cup of water, like really embrace it, right? When you sleep, okay, it could be the last time, right? Then everything is different. The reason why people treat vacation, like going to Hawaii, Bora Bora, like anywhere, like maybe Fiji, right, or Bali, they treat it very differently because it's special. But we can make every single moment special by knowing, okay, this could be it, right? So.
And that one of the things that you were speaking at length about is gratitude.
Yes.
And part of this is just the gratitude for each moment. And that's not just the good moments. That's also the difficult moments, because the difficult moments become the fertile soil that is going to grow the strong tree of who your soul is.
Yes. Yeah. Without the gratitude, we cannot have the spiritual force called ki. And without the gratitude, because by law of nature, life's fair, and there's no right or wrong. Like, let's say lions, what are they eating? Lions eating zebras, for example. Is it bad? From zebra point of view, yeah, it's very, very bad. From lion's point of view, it's very, very good. From nature point of view, it's neutral. Right? So if everything is neutral, then we can assign any meaning, right? Somebody asked me before, what is the meaning of life? And I say, okay, you just need to give the life a meaning, right? We can assign any meaning. It's yin and yang, it's positive or negative. We can choose to see whatever way possible, right? Same situation. I'm extremely happy. I'm extremely fulfilled. But can people be extremely happy and fulfilled if they take my life over? I don't really think so, right? It's just appreciation that I have, how to see things, right? So if in martial arts, there's a movement to become the gratitude. And then if you become the gratitude, everything you see become positive.
As you talk about nature, though, there's a connection to the whole.
Yes.
there's a connection to, when we talked about this, what you call it, the ki or the force or the field, the connection to all of life. And the opposing force to that is just the service only to self and the disconnection to the field, which many people call the ego or the separate self. And I think for us as human beings with our ability, we don't feel the field naturally because we've been disconnected from cultural things. So we have to actually re-immerse ourselves into the field consciousness to change it from service to self to service to the whole, which includes the self, but also transcends the self.
Yeah, because we treat other people well because we initially believed that we are the same. Like let's say we just be talking about the origin of the universe. We just believe, okay, it started from the ki or any energy, magnetic force or any force. We can call it God. We can call it a void, emptiness. Anything's fine. But for us, we just call it ki. Yeah, some people call it Big Bang. Some people call it void, emptiness. Or God created it. I don't care. I wasn't there. I don't know. Right? No one knows. If that started the whole universe. What is the sun made of?
The force.
The force, the ki, force, right? Now, what about the earth? The earth.
Density of the ki.
The density of the ki. What about you guys?
Articulation in a unique form of the ki.
Ki. So, and then what about air?
The ki.
Yeah. And if I started from ki, and if you started from ki, right? And I want to be happy. Right? And then what can I do to make me happy? Right? So in that case, then if you and I are the same force coming from ki, right? Then I just need to make you happy. And people know that. Like if you have a crush on someone in high school, and then if finally she agrees to go on a date with you, you're happy. But then right next to you, your best friend just got dumped. You really cannot be happy fully. In life, we don't believe, for us, winning without fighting is the ultimate win. But when we say the word win, people tend to associate with winning and losing, right? No, it's only win. So if I want to be happy, I'm going to just make you happy. But if I want to make you happy, then I just need to be happy. So that's a win-win situation. And in profit, for business world, for profit, in Japanese, we use two characters to write profit. One is to trust. The other part is people. Trusting other people is profit. So if we cannot have the win-win situation and winning without fighting, and we cannot have losers, then I think it's extremely difficult for us to feel the appreciation, or it's extremely difficult for us to have separate opinion because one has to be right and one has to be wrong, right? But for us, it's like, okay, it's just a different perspective. Lion and zebra, it's fine. Yeah.
One of the things that I learned in practicing with you is a lot of times people probably think the force of gratitude is soft. It's soft, or maybe even woo-woo, not even real. And maybe it's like a psychological thing. But actually, in our training, you were using the force of gratitude to actually shift the power that you were able to transmit yourself, or the strength that you were able to hold and resist against another force.
If you extend your arm like this, obviously yours are way longer, right? Can you scooch down a little bit so that it's not much? Look, like this much different, right? Then if you touch my chest, if I extend my arm, do you think I can touch him? No, right? I'm gonna alter the space. So if you look around here, you know I'm not gonna move. I cannot move, like here, right? Naturally, you might see me coming closer to you. Let me know if you can see it, okay? Okay. And you guys know that I'm not moving, right? And I cannot move. And look how, if I extend my arm, my arm's bent, right? And then let me know if I go backwards. Do you feel that I'm going back? And then it becomes natural.
Wow.
It's like your whole worldview is different than the rest of the worldview. Gratitude seems like one of the most powerful forces in the whole universe for the samurai.
I would say gratitude is the strongest force, and I think everything is a gratitude, and human beings somehow have the ability not to have gratitude, somehow. But because people have I would say people learn in a different way. Because when you're a baby, it doesn't really matter which culture you were born in, they're the same. And people have there are shy people, they're like timid, and some people are very outgoing, some people are not, like extrovert, introvert. Yeah, okay, they're the only happy baby, right? When they were born, they're not going to be born like, no, I've never seen that before, right? The baby, they're crying and happy and things like that, and they can forget about everything instantaneously. Like we had that thing, and they are grateful for all the teeny tiny thing. Like why did we become, or when did we become this creature that we actually have to have something, otherwise we are unhappy, right? So we are just unlearning the things that, because we were born with gratitude, we have it in us. I'm not asking people to actually have something they don't have. They already have it. Okay, polish it, and then you have it. People think, oh, ki is miraculous thing. No, you actually have it. And people think, and then when I actually show something unreasonable or like scientifically not possible, right? People say, oh, it's a miracle. No, it's not a miracle. That means you don't know yet. Miracle doesn't exist. Just because we don't know the reason why, I wouldn't call it a miracle. It's just, okay, I'm ignorant.
Yep.
So
during my 11-year tenure with Onnit, we created a lot of revolutionary formulas, none more revolutionary than our flagship Alpha Brain. It's a product that I take every single day, still to this day. And then after I sold Onnit in 2021, I came across a particular ingredient. It's a metabolite of caffeine, which means that it's something that the body naturally breaks caffeine down into. And it's called paraxanthine. And then I found that ingredient and I said, this is doing a lot of what I wish caffeine would do, but it's not having the negative effects that I experience with caffeine. It's making me feel more alive, more energized, more clear in my mind, but it's also not sending me down that caffeine roller coaster. And then I said, what if we surrounded this with the best natural ingredients to create a really revolutionary formula? And we did it. And so I created a new company called Correct with a K, housed on correct.life, called Correct Energy. And it's absolutely as much of a revolution as Alpha Brain ever was. Alpha Brain worked on the acetylcholine neurotransmitter designed to give you more focus, and this works on the dopamine pathway, which is really like the go mechanism for the body. So whether you're working out, working hard, writing, anything that you're doing, playing with your kids, Correct Energy is going to be an absolute revolution in how you're able to interact with life with the vim and vigor and passion that you know is truly you. One of the things about this product is it just feels like you have more of you available. It doesn't change who you are, it doesn't change your mindset, it just gives you more of the best of yourself. So if you're interested, check it out at correct.life. There's just a broader understanding of the laws of nature, which have excluded, ki or prana, or there's many names for this type of energy, but it's outside of the scientific materialism. But then when you're actually engaged with it, you can feel it.
Yeah. And then all the training in martial arts or samurai training is basically just tap into the body. Like body is way smarter than us, right? Than our brain. So like a lot of people, when they talk to babies, most of us would raise a pitch a little bit higher without knowing the reason why, but we do it. And some people think, because they're cute, right? Or because we want to kind of come close to them, right? No, because they cannot hear the lower pitch sound. And a lot of people, they don't know that information, but we do it anyway because our body knows it, right? So we just need to listen to the body. People ask me like, how many times do you eat a day? I don't know, 1 to 4 times. When I get hungry, I will eat. And when I get full, I will stop. That's why I don't need to fail in a diet, because a lot of people fail in a diet because they go for something they don't like. I love my diet. I eat whatever things I want to eat. But my body is telling me to stop. And then my body is to tell me, oh, you can eat this. Right? And then I can consume it. So it's fine.
Yeah, it's a movement called intuitive eating.
Yeah.
That's becoming more and more popular, where people are actually trusting the body more and listening to what the body is actually trying to tell us. And if we actually get quiet, we can listen, and the body will have all kinds of different things to say.
Yeah.
But we have to quiet the mind enough to do that.
Yeah.
Do you have a meditation practice that you do? Or is your life kind of a living meditation?
Well, life is kind of meditation as well. And life, all my life, everything I treat it as training as well, a training of martial arts, because I cannot separate those two, because I live according to the law of nature. And then the way of samurai, then everything is martial arts to me, or the way of samurai. But I do meditate as well, not sitting Zen meditation, but I can stand and do, like, making the energy flow from my crown to the feet and just cleanse my body, called Naikanho.
Do you use the gold, the image of the golden energy?
Yeah, golden water. Because when we imagine the color gold, we cannot be negative, right? You feel blue. Okay, that's the color blue. Okay, I don't use the blue, right? Gold. There's a reason why a lot of culture is considering gold as precious, right? And they think it's scarce. No, there are many, like tremendous amount of gold. That's why we can have all the golds, right? And so it's not that precious. We just assume it's precious. But if you imagine the color gold or the sun, then we can become positive. So
I'm going to give you a gift of we're making gold art that's in actual gold that you could melt down into other gold.
Okay.
I'll give you a gift when we're done. It's a company called Metal Mark. But I fully agree that there's something irresistible and attractive about the gold energy. And we use it in, spiritual ceremonies and plant medicine ceremonies. And it's always this nourishing force, like the sun. Everybody, we all go out. Why do we want to go out in the sun? It's because the golden energy of the sun, washes over our body, and our body responds, and everybody feels better after being in the sun.
Yeah, for sure.
For a little while.
Yeah, for sure. And then we use that to sleep. Golden color. I mentioned that a little bit before as well. But when we sleep, we need to sleep. I think a lot of people are tired. I don't know about people around you. But a lot of people in this society, they're tired, right? But which tired do they get, right? They are physically tired or spiritually tired. And if they're spiritually tired, no matter how long you sleep, it's not going to recover. They cannot recover. They're going to have nightmare. Like if you're worried about the presentation the next day or the huge meeting, right? If you have to meet like King Charles, are you going to get anxious? You cannot recover from sleeping, because sleeping can make you recover physically, not spiritually. In Japan, it's not a trend, but many times this happens. They're called karoshi, which is a death from overworking. But they're not physically tired. They're tired, and they say they're tired, but they're not tired physically, because all they do is they're sitting and they're doing this. They're not burning calories. Meanwhile, like a basketball player, football player, they're working all the time. They're physically tired, maybe not spiritually, or maybe they have stress because of the pressure. But for me, I train all day. I'm physically tired, but spiritually zero tired, right? And when you need to recover, you need to do both recovery, and that gratitude helps. That's why the golden water. If you say arigato, or like thank you, and then golden water, you are in the spiritual rest. One thing I'm gonna share, if I may, this is really secret of Japanese tradition, but called jirehai. Right? When you sleep, you need to sleep physically. This one you're gonna do it naturally anyway. If you're tired, you're gonna sleep. You don't need to force yourself to sleep if you're not tired, because you don't need to recover. You're done. You recovered already. You don't need to sleep that long. But if you're spiritually tired, you actually need to do it something, right? Because sleeping physically, you can do it. recovering spiritually, people don't know how to do it, right? So usually we use a mirror, but because of the modern technology, we can do the cell phone as well. So if I'm going to just show you, turn the camera on and try to take the selfie, right? And then it should be here too, here and up, okay? Now, I really want you to aim at your heart and say, thank you. Like really, I want you to verbally say it. Anytime you're ready.
Thank you, heart.
And then do you feel that maybe you have a goosebumps or maybe your energy surges a little? This is the thing that you can do to recover. This is one of the most beautiful. This one was supposed to be emperor only, right? Before you go to the timing is crucial as well. I mean, you can do it any time. I do it on the plane. I do it on the train. Anywhere you can do it. And if you master it, you don't even need to have the phone, or the mirror. But first, I think it's important. And then if they do that, sometimes people cry.
When we did that earlier,
Yeah.
like I started to get tears in my own eyes.
Because they don't forgive themselves. And then this one is working for you all the time, but they don't get any recognition. That's sad, no? Like, let's say I have like injury in my shoulder right now because I'm training too much, right? People hate it, but you need to give the gratitude to the shoulder because this my delt worked so hard until the point they couldn't take it anymore. Then why not? Oh, damn it. Like, what happened? Right? I need to heal. No, I'm going to say thank you very much. And then speed up the healing process. Right? A fever as well. Our body is working for us and for us to be happy, for sure. They're like really doing all the hard work. Like, why we are not giving them the gratitude, especially the heart. If you do that, and the tear, by the way, if you can look up the dictionary or like translator, we can write the water with the character water and to reverse. We can reverse the state. If we are in a negative state, we can reverse it by crying. And we talked about the last samurai movie and we cry all the time, right?
Every time.
We need to do it. We need to cry. Crying is fine. Like it's like masculine and feminine. I'm a man, so do I need to be masculine? No, I need to have both yin and yang. Not too much yin, not too much yang. I need to have a good balance.
This was something that was really inspirational for me about Musashi. And Musashi embodied to me the warrior poet because not only was he the great swordsman, but he was also a writer, a poet, a calligrapher. He embodied both the ultimate masculine principle, the sword being like fighting and like the principle of the yang energy, but also the yin energy. You can't do calligraphy the right way unless you're feeling the force of nature, of the mother moving through you and allowing the softness to actually create the art. And so many of these great warriors that we know about, even Socrates, great thinker, great philosopher, also ferocious warrior, is the cultivation of both. And that's been a guiding principle for me, is to be able to cry fully, be able to scream your battle yell, to be able to do both. And that's the full spectrum of what it means to be, in my mind, to be a man. To be the sacred masculine is to embrace and embody both the feminine and the masculine. And you showed some interesting practices where actually bringing in more yin energy into you, whether that's your prayer hands in prayer, the strength that comes from unifying the masculine and the feminine energy is actually brings this balance that gives you so much more strength.
Let's say if you are trying to, if somebody tried to push your arm down and you're trying to resist, that's an extreme yang energy because you're really fighting. Push it down. I want you to really stay strong. Yeah. Like this. Which muscle do you use? Delt, for sure. Yeah, one more time. Really strong. Like this, right? Now, how are you going to make it stronger? With the same posture, same position. So you're using this muscle, right? Now, can you hold her hands? Just like this. How are you holding hands? Gentle, no? And try that one more time. Really strong. It's strong. Actually, really strong. A lot stronger. Why? Because thank you so much. Because this one is a yang. You just add in. Yin and yang needs to be met. you need to have the yin energy. The easiest way is to hold a baby or kitten or puppy. No one's like really squeezing, right? If you have that care and gentle feeling already in here, right? And then if you resist, your body kind of merge yin and yang energy and becomes stronger, right? That's why we need to have both yin and yang energy, right? People claim, oh, okay, I'm a man, I'm a woman. Yeah, okay, you can have both masculine and feminine, and actually you need to have it. I don't know if masculine and feminine is a better term. I would really love to call it yin and yang.
Yeah.
But yeah, we need to have both, right? Yeah. And we physically embody it. When we draw katana, the sword, we use both hands equally. So here, right? When we draw katana, careful, right? We are not going to draw with the right hand only. We draw with both hands, and then both hands travel together. When you move the blade, again, both hands coming back together here. Both hands separate, both hands coming back together.
Wow.
The use of both hands, we call meoto te. Meoto is husband and wife. Te is a hand. Right? Sometimes husband might be in the front, sometimes wife might be in the front. We don't care, depending on the situation. But we need to have the balance. But what we need to know is the balance between yin and yang in this world, on Earth at least, is not 50-50. I don't know if I've ever told you that, but it's not 50-50. It's 48 and 52. 48 for yang, 52 for yin. Right? Right now, like let's say, you're standing or sitting, right? And you're not floating in the air because the gravity, right? Because the central pedal energy is stronger than central.
It's just because I don't want to show off.
Oh yeah.
Otherwise, I'd be levitating.
You're levitating or flying.
For sure. But I want to keep things chill, you know.
Yeah. Sure. Or like if you look at the trees, right? If you look at one tree, a tree. Roots and stems, we consider it like yin, and then branch and the leaves, that's yang, right? Can the roots and stems exist without the branch and leaves? No. Yeah, they can. They can, right? It's like there, right?
Right.
Can the branch and leaves exist without roots and stems? Not so much. It's better to have both. That's why that's yang, that's 48. Yin is 52. For us human, the pH, the healthy pH is like 7.2 to 7.4, and 1 is acidic, and 14 is alkaline, right? Extreme acidic, extreme alkaline. 7 is neutral. We are about 7.2 to 7.4, little towards the inside, not the speeding up the acidic side, right? And if you calculate that, it's like, it's 51 to 53 to 47 to 49. And that's why I say 52 to 48, just to make it easier. So
yeah, and in our culture, we're probably 70-30 yang to yin.
Yeah, that's why
so we're way out of balance.
Yeah.
And that's not only for men.
Yeah.
You know, there's many women who are really been empowered to cultivate so much yang energy that, you know, some of the most masculine people I know, some of the most yang people I know are actually women.
Yeah.
And it's fine. It's beautiful, but also there's like, it's cultivating the balance no matter who you are.
I agree with you completely. Because if you fight against the yang energy, you cannot fight with the yang energy. You need to have the yin energy to fight. Like let's say, physically, I'm stronger than my 2-year-old baby boy, right? And he's 2, right? But if he's sleeping right now on the floor, can I actually stump him? No, right? If we fight, can I actually beat him? No, because his yin energy is too strong. He's too cute. I cannot even strike him, right? And can he strike me? Yeah, right? So yin is way stronger, actually. And we need to cultivate that part. But too much yin is not good either. Because, right now, he doesn't have that much yang. He needs to cultivate the yang. Otherwise, he's going to be dead anyway. Yeah. Right? So yin and yang balance. That's the thing. It's a balance is the necessary part.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, if you take the balance and also extend it out, and, you know, I have many woodblock paintings, actually, in my house. And there's many depictions, and this is from the samurai era and their reproductions, but there's pictures of demons, which is like a very dark type of form of energy. And so what is if I were to call it demonology, or what is the belief in these kind of darker forces in your culture and in the samurai way?
So we don't believe in, let's say if we actually worship demon too.
And that's like the Ibi? Is that what you call the Ibi?
Ibi?
I don't know. I thought that was the name of a type of demon.
Ibi? No, Oni?
Ibi? Or maybe Oni.
Oni, yeah. But look, so if we conquer one country, we worship the god that they worshipped as well. So we just need to turn, because a demon, like the Star Wars analogy, what is the difference between Jedi and Sith? They can do the same thing, right? So it's just a different perspective. If they're the enemy,
one is service to self, and total power for self at the cost of others, and one is power to protect.
Right. Yeah. Isn't it easy for us if we can be friends and we can actually use their energy too to build something new? In Japan, we call God Kami, right? God. So like let's say left hand in the shrine we do this. Like this, right? Left hand is fire, right hand is water. It merges together. Polar opposing things merging together and becoming one, right? And then we do this, because fire goes up, water goes down. And then we clap twice, and then fire and water coming together to merge, and then makes a better force, or a new force, right? So we actually appreciate the opposing force. We don't, and then the difference between Western society and Japanese philosophy, I would say, is we are more like a musubi, tying culture. Have you ever had a rice bowl before? Yeah. The ingredient of the rice bowl is rice and the salt, right? If we sprinkle the salt on the rice, it's not that tasty. But if we make a rice bowl called musubi, right? It's tying or merging, right? It's tasty, right? So men and women, we can merge, making love. That feels extremely good, right? Anything opposing force merged together feels good. We don't eliminate the bad because we don't consider as bad, because everything's neutral. Just because we consider as evil, they might not be evil, right? They're fighting for their own cause. And who are we to say that's actually bad, right? For them, they probably have different reasoning. Good or bad, it's the same. It's really the same. People don't know that, right? And samurai, we always need to adjust. If I have the short katana, okay, I'm going to adjust. If I have a longer one, I will adjust. If I have naginata, the longer one, or if I have yari, spear, well, I will adjust anyway, right? People don't trust their ability to adjust. And they try to crave for something they want. Yeah, okay, I think you should trust yourself a little more.
And if that force is coming to slay your family, you draw your sword.
Yeah, that's why we actually need to have, but the strongest technique or strongest skill in martial arts is to be friend with someone who try to kill you. Because if you're friends, they're going to fight for you. No,
right.
Yeah, so that's a win-win situation.
So drawing the sword is the last resort.
Yeah, really the last resort. We don't draw. We practice every single day. We polish the katana every single day as well, but never to draw. And even in this, we still have the scroll because we are old tradition, right? But it says drawing the sword to win is the last resort, basically. Winning without fighting, winning without drawing a katana is the basis or foundation of Shintoryu. Shintoryu is the style of martial arts, but yeah. So we don't draw katana.
Yeah. And still, you train for those circumstances where you need to have the discretion and the protection.
Yeah.
And so it's your whole philosophy is about is about not fighting, is about forming friendships, about finding gratitude and common ground.
Yeah.
And the whole basis of your training is for that one instance where something else just might happen.
And then we train for something might never happen.
Yeah.
But it's fine, because just in case, right? And because, I mean, if you think about all the superheroes, they all break rules, no?
Yeah.
They're speeding. Batman's speeding all the time, no? I think, right?
Yeah.
And then we teach kids at school, don't hit, right? Any superhero movie, I think they're hitting and kicking or throwing or even killing people. Yeah, okay, if you do it with a virtue, it's fine, right? But like, let's say, imagine the lion, right? Lion's fang, right? They have fang, like very strong fang, right? What do they use? What do they use the fang for? You know, like when you imagine, like most people would say, yeah, okay, they hunt. Yeah, they do hunt, right? But lionesses' fang, that's to carry lion cubs.
Mm-hmm.
Without the fangs, how are you going to carry their cubs?
Mm-hmm.
We cannot do it, right? So we need to be strong.
Mm-hmm.
That's samurai. We need to be very, very strong, but never to fight.
Mm-hmm. In Tibetan Buddhism, they have these images called tankas. And the tanka has usually a wrathful deity, which might look like a demon, but it represents that primal animalistic nature, the willingness to fight and protect. And so one of them is called Yamantaka, which is death destroyer. And then on top is a semi-wrathful deity, which just has still snarling. And then on top is a fully enlightened deity, like clear mind. And they're stacked on top of each other. And that's what, from my understanding, that the practitioners meditate with to try to merge with that force, to recognize that the power and that fierceness of the young, but then also ascend to the higher levels of clarity and enlightenment, where all is peace.
Yeah. Because if you achieve the enlightenment, you can choose to lose, right? If, like, let's say, if I'm running and sprinting, and if you're competing with my son, I'm not gonna win. I can just let him win. And do people think that I'm actually weaker or slower? I don't think so, right? You need to be able to be extremely strong so you can even let other people win. And do we care about not having things? No, right? I mean, I was happy when I was poor, happy when I have some resources. I don't care about that either, right? Because what we do is, I mean, like, good and bad, or having things and not having things, everything becomes the same anyway. I'm controlling my emotion, my heart, so that I can feel happy all the time. Same thing, right? If you're clearing things, you don't even need to fight. You can choose to lose, and you're fine. And we don't believe in death anyway from the beginning, because we believe in reincarnation way more, right? Because by law of nature, if things are existing in this universe, it's not gonna go away.
Where does the key go?
Yeah.
Where does the force go?
It's just changing
forms. Goes back
forms.
into force.
Yeah. So it's the same. And then, like, can you notice the difference between, like, when you're sleeping for like 3 hours and 5 hours without checking the time? No. Right? So I don't know when you're going to reincarnate. Maybe like 10 years, maybe 100 years, right? Or maybe 1,000 years. Oh, it's the same. It's like this for us. So, yeah, if we can eliminate the death out of the equation, you have nothing to fear.
Talk to me more about fear. Just so much fear. Fear of a virus, fear of losing money, fear of all, fear. Fear if you vote for this person, democracy is over. Fear if you vote for this person, democracy is over. It's fear all over the place. What is the samurai belief about fear?
Fear is not accepting things. If you accept things, there's no fear. Fear is coming from your desire and your expectation. You don't like this, right? But if you know how to accept everything, there's no fear. If you accept death, are you going to scared of death? No. People are afraid of COVID because of death. People are not afraid of getting a cold or catching a cold because they're not going to die from it, right? If you start to accept everything, there's no fear, right? So try not to eliminate the fear, because you cannot do it. People try to tackle the problem. I might counter argue with a lot of people, but when I see the problem, I would say, okay, avoid it. Don't try to solve it. Because, I mean, if the problem level is here, where is your level? Are you here, or are you actually better than the problem? Are you lower than the problem? You should be lower than the problem. That's why it's a problem. If you're higher than the problem, this is not a problem. It's just a task. You can solve it, right? If it's a problem, you're not supposed to solve it because you cannot. Your level is too low. Then what do you have to do? Train yourself to be better. And then problem will go away. Without solving fear, okay, you're not supposed to face the fear because it's bigger than you. You cannot do it. Rather, try to accept everything with gratitude, right? Then fear is not there anymore. And love, when we write the character of love in Japanese, we have the spirit or kokoro, heart in the middle, and then up and down, we have receive. We are receiving everything with the open heart. That's love. It's not romantic love. We are not talking about it, but we are accepting everything. If you accept everything, if you really can accept everything, good or bad, meaning I don't even call it good or bad, likable or unlikable, or desirable or undesirable, because that's how we judge things, right? No fear. So.
In a reading that I've done of the Hagakure, and you probably understand it way better than me, but I understood that there was a practice of meditating on all of the least desirable things that could happen in a battlefield to train them not to have fear if that thing happened. They get hit with an arrow, they get cut, their arm gets severed or something. So they would imagine all of these things and move into acceptance of all of these, so that actually when they stepped into the battlefield, they had no fear because they've watched themselves through the other side of that. Is that a practice that, you think we can apply to our regular life?
No, I don't think so, because our image, our imagination is limited, right? And to be really honest with you, which level of samurai which level of samurai wrote Hagakure?
I don't know.
That's the thing, right? Did they achieve the key level? I don't think so. Because if they start saying things like that, I would say, yeah, okay, you are not there yet. I really believe, people write a lot of things. Okay, which samurai wrote it, right? When you're from Texas, right? When you say American culture, and that's Hagakure is coming from a specific region in Japan, like Kyushu area, right? But let's say if you're from the States, can you and then if somebody, let me know your American culture. Okay, that's Texas culture, Texan culture. Different from New York or LA, right? So that particular person, Yamamoto Tsunetomo, I think that's his name, that's a representation of him, his way of samurai. Does that apply to us? I would say we're a little better because we cannot imagine everything, right? Samurai lives a daily life like that. Okay, what can I do right now to make my life a little better? I don't care about the outcome. We just need to focus on now. Because we are not living in the past. We are not living in the future. What can I do now? That's in Shintoist term we call nakaima, being inside of the present. We just need to continue doing that. Any outcome, we just get... So then what is the best thing right now for me to do is to spread the martial art wisdom or samurai wisdom to you guys. I don't care about anything else right now, right? So really, if you focus on the present moment, every single moment, nothing matters. Can our life get any worse than now? I want people to really think about it. Can our life get any worse than now? And if the answer is yes, you're not a samurai yet, or complete samurai, right? Because our life cannot get any worse. And then people say, yeah, what about you get chopped off your right arm? Yeah, okay, my life starts from now. I don't care about the past. I don't care about the future. What can I do? Where can I live? Now, right? So if my arm got chopped off, okay, what am I going to do with the left arm, right? What I'm going to do with, what if I'm going to chop, my legs are gone? Okay, then I'm going to bite. Something like that, right? And there's no complaining. What can I do to survive? What can I do to make the situation a little better from now? And now is a continuous thing. And then I'm just doing, focusing on now, and then now, and now. And if you try to grow the now, your life will be better anyway. If you fight with your spouse, okay, that happened. What can I do now? Right? If you compare the happy time non-fighting time and then the argument period, okay, maybe it's worse. But I'm not comparing anyway, right? Now start from here. So yeah, maybe you can just apologize. Now, I think I mentioned this one, I might have a lot of backlash from a lot of men, but I'm going to say it anyway. I mentioned we have 2 rules, right? In my household. Rule number 1 is always listen to my wifey. Rule number 1, easiest rule. You just need to say yes, right? And rule number 2, don't you dare to break rule number 1. So if my wife asks me, can you do it? Can you do this? Or I think this is this, right? And then if I say, yeah, but I don't think, and then she can say rule number 1, right? And then in my mind, because I'm teeny tiny here, so I can say, yeah, but, and then she can say rule number 2. And then I say, yeah, okay, right? Because everything in life is such a small thing, right? You cannot be mad at one person for like 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. And everything starts to adjust. I believe my ability to adjust. Samurai, or in Japanese people, this is a cultural thing. In Japan, we have complete 4 seasons, right? Spring, summer, fall, and winter. And then we have typhoons, and we have a lot of earthquakes, more than thousands of them in a year. And then flood, volcanic eruption. We need to deal with it. We cannot control nature, right? If we cannot control nature, I just need to adjust to it, right? And then even if I don't like that thing right now, I'll be okay next day or 2 days, right? So I believe the power to adjust. Yeah. So
when you're talking about the different levels of samurais, and you talked about the connection with Star Wars and the Jedi, and we can talk about that a little more, but it reminds me of, you take the difference of the lineages, and and so you have Luke Skywalker, and then you have Obi-Wan, and then you have Yoda.
Very true.
And at the Yoda level of the Force, it's very different than the Luke Skywalker level of the Force. Yeah. And there's just different levels and different perspectives, and that's why they all go to Yoda's cave and sit down when they have a challenge, because there's a higher level wisdom, like a mystical level wisdom.
Yeah, for sure. And then a lot of the mystical wisdom thing we cannot understand, and a lot of things in the modern society, a lot of people, they do Zen, right? We don't do Zen. You ask me like if we do meditation. Yeah, we don't have time in the battlefield to do the Zen. Yeah. Right. But we do this mudra mantra. When I'm more physical than spiritual. In case you haven't noticed, I mean. My build and my physique, I train all day. I'm physical. So when I learned this, my initial thought, I'm hoping that my sensei is not listening to it. But when I learned this, it's like, oh, that's full of crap. Excuse my language. Because that's like, okay, that's ancient tradition. I don't really care. But I do this because I learned it. Right? When the plane's hitting the turbulence, then I do this. And then to make the fortune coming to me, right? When I'm climbing up the mountain, okay, there's a spell to protect against animals, right? When you travel, there's a way to do it. When I actually have to meet someone special, okay, there's things to put one character. Yeah, we have those. I didn't believe in it until I actually managed to do it. And then people ask me like, how sure are you? It's like, okay, can you jump on on here? Can you jump on here? And then like, yeah, okay. What about on the chair? Yeah. What about right here? Oh, it might be too high. We can tell. Our body can tell without even trying. If you do it many times, it'll start to work. And this takes 10 seconds. Right? So if you do that,
10 seconds to do, but a lifetime to master, I would imagine as well.
Really depends. People ask me that question all the time. How long will it take to master? Okay, the same question. How long will it take for you to master English? Kind of thing. For some people, they can speak in 3 months. Some people it takes maybe a year, right? So really depends. But it's gonna come to you for sure. I've never seen an American person who cannot speak English.
Yeah.
right? So they can do it. All of them can do it.
Tell me a little bit more about the word Jedi and
Jedi.
how it actually relates to the samurai culture.
The Star Wars thing, it's coming from Japanese culture. They're wearing kimono, right? They're master and padawan. It's sensei and disciple. What are they using to fight?
The Force.
Yeah, force and then lightsaber. Force is a key. Lightsaber is a katana. And Jedi means Jedi, coming from Jedi. Jedi means era. That particular movie is coming from Japanese samurai culture by itself. So easiest way for me to explain to people what is the key. Oh, have you seen the Star Wars? And that's about it. I mean, you've seen me actually do a little bit of the things like, oh, I can move the table lighter or things like that. I cannot move it like this.
Right.
At my level right now, maybe in the future I can. I don't know, but I cannot right now. But things that we cannot believe, that can happen, right?
Yeah, I mean, I felt some of those things.
Yeah.
And those things were, again, not like Star Wars where you can draw something to you from across the room or move it across the room. Yeah. Are there stories and legends of people who had mastered ki to such a level that...
Yeah, my sensei could teleportate. That's what I've heard. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So...
how do you make sense of that?
Well, I mean, you've seen me control the space.
Right. Like I saw you shorten and lengthen the space in between us.
Yeah. Then can we do it? Maybe in the extension of it, right? And then you see me making things heavier and lighter. So in the extension of it, maybe you can carry like tons of weight as well. So like, and yeah, the teleportation is one for sure. I'm not there yet, so don't ask me to do it. But I'm hopeful. But that's not my goal. My goal is to be better every single day. That's the way of samurai, just trying to improve, like teeny tiny bit every single day. I'm always constantly trying to be the best husband. I'm constantly trying to be the best father, constantly try to be the best martial artist, right? Try to be better. And then you can be happy because you can see the improvement.
Yeah.
When you see any improvement, even like English or maybe like you're learning, like let's say Spanish, for example, or French, if you can actually start to understand even a little bit, then yeah, you're happy.
So every opportunity, from what I'm understanding and feeling from you, is every single moment is an opportunity.
Yes.
It's an opportunity to take a higher choice and learn, or to actually spiral down into like lower thinking. And I find myself in these places where I'm thinking about a decision that I did in the past, and it's bringing my energy lower and lower and lower, and it's difficult to, but really what I'm taking from this is in that moment, if I just bring my consciousness and say, all right, here's the choice. Do I want to choose to stay in the past, or do I want to choose to be here right now and move forward from this life right now? The past is just an illusion. It's just a memory of, a consecutive amount of moments that I've made into a story. But what is here that's right now? And how do I want to change my attitude right now? It could be in a fight with a partner. Or it could be some kind of grievance that you have with somebody. Yeah. It's like every single moment is a choice about how you want to be from that moment forward.
Yeah. I think we have a very strong belief. Thinking about the fear, right? People, going back to the fear story as well. We have extreme amount of belief in nature, right? And the nature is neutral. And then we have extreme amount of feeling, trust in spiritual force as well. So just because we judge this is bad, doesn't mean it's actually bad. So like I always tell people, okay, follow your heart, right? Not the emotion, not the logical sense, follow emotion. But what if, but I failed before following my intuition. Yeah, okay, but that's you judging. The intuition can actually see through maybe 5 years, 10 years, right? I didn't want to break up with my first girlfriend, but it's actually good. I couldn't see 20 years ahead. So follow the intuition. Nature is not going to treat you bad if you treat nature good, though. That's why I follow the law of nature. I'm trying to be grateful. Like trying to follow the law of nature and try to get back to it, right? I don't go to the spiritual place or energetic place to take the energy. I'm going to just give the gratitude, right? Then nature will treat me good, right? And then even if I don't like something right now, doesn't mean it's bad from nature's perspective. Am I bigger than nature? No, I don't think so. I'm teeny tiny. Then I don't care about this thing. That's my judgment. I don't trust my judgment. I trust nature. If you become gratitude, or you don't need to say anything or feel gratitude, you actually need to become gratitude. When you become the gratitude, right, or become the appreciation itself, everything you see will be positive. You are not going to change the situation because you cannot change the situation 100%, right? But you can always have the control in here. So if you see things in a positive manner, you're done. You don't need to change anything. You don't need to be a millionaire, a billionaire. You can be broke. You can still be happy. But because of law of nature, we need to still grow. There's a difference between, what is the difference between imperfect and perfect? Right? So perfection and perfect and imperfect are the same exact thing if the imperfect have the will to grow. That's why a lot of people who abandon the real life and then they don't even try to grow. For us, you guys are going against the law of nature. Right? And that, I think it goes with all the religion. I don't care which religion they believe or you believe, or like I believe. If you have a true faith, then you trust. I don't trust myself that much. I trust nature. And that's why there's no fear, right? And then there's no, I want this. I accept. This is samurai mentality of work ethics. We do the best we can, and we aim for the minimum, or like actually nothing, and accept all the outcome. The reason why people get stressed out is because they expect something, right? And especially minimum effort, maximum profit. You really cannot have it, right? So if you do the maximum effort, like samurai, you live the moment as if it's the last, and you actually do the best thing you can do right now. Like, let's say, I definitely love my wife and my children. I'm not children, I have one baby, my kid, right? Do I care about them right now? No, not at all, because they're not here. I cannot care about them, right? But I do care about talking to you, right? So that's the best thing I can do right now. If this is the last moment, if I'm going to die in like 30 seconds, I'm going to try to put as much wisdom as possible on this mic. Done, right? So that's the best thing I can do, right? So if you live that way, and then if you don't accept any outcome, you're going to grow anyway, right? And you're not going to have any stress. Your business will grow. Your relationship will grow. Everything will improve. And then you're not going to have any stress. So that's how I live. So, yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about the sword and what the sword means to the samurai historically and what the sword means to you, because it's been said that the sword was the soul of the samurai.
Yeah, because when we draw katana, that already indicates we are not fighting for ourselves. So when we draw katana, because if you want to kill someone, you don't need to use katana. You don't need to have sword. You can just choke them, right? A lot of MMA fighters can do it for sure. But when we fight with katana, that means we are fighting for other cause. We are not fighting for ourselves, right? So the word samurai is sa means the, and murai is to protect. So coming from the protector. So we are drawing katana to fight for someone, all right? And that's why we carry katana. And you know kamikaze attack? Kamikaze, like the Japanese suicide bombing in the World War II.
Oh, yeah, kamikaze. Yeah.
Kamikaze attack, yeah. They carry katana. They're not using katana for sure, right? I'm not glorifying it, but they carry katana. Why? Because they fought for their country. It's not a selfish fight, right? So that is the spirit. We have the spirit of sacrificing. Katana is a sacrificing spirit as well. When we write the character of beauty, we have a sheep, character of the sheep and the big. Because we need to sacrifice ourselves for other people. That big sacrifice, we consider it as beauty. It's not like how beautiful you look or anything like that. And then when we write the character of happiness, we have the big and the sheep as well. Why? Because when we do good things for other people, we feel happy, right? A lot of people don't know about it. I mean, actually, they know in their body. Like, let's say if you're on a train in New York, like a metro in New York, and you're sitting, and then a pregnant woman comes, and then you offer her a seat naturally, then you feel good, right? That's the happiness. That's how we go for. Katana is a representation of that. We need to do good for other people. That's why we carry. And the katana actually makes us more, like legally in Edo period, we can kill someone if somebody degrades us, right? If they say, if they call us names, yeah, okay, we can kill them legally. But with a teeny tiny one, the wakizashi, small katana, we're gonna have to kill ourselves because we just took one of their lives, right? So it's also taking responsibility. Like when people like get up, like okay, let's say in a family, taking responsibility, the representation of katana, this goes to like, so in a family scenario, you put a vase in here, right? And if your wife knocks them over, if you are both good people, you're going to fight. If you are both bad people, you're not going to fight. Does that make sense? Because like, let's say, if you're good, like let's say, we are not a couple, but let's say we are, right? If I put a vase here, if you knock it over, if I'm a bad person, I would say, oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have put it. Because I know I make mistakes. But if you're good, then I'm going to probably say, why are you blind? Why did you knock it over? Can you see it? Right?
And I'm starting to understand. It's almost like what you're saying about good is like righteousness.
Yeah.
Like that I'm doing something right and you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Which is this idea that I'm better than you somehow. Yeah. That I'm more careful or you're less than me. It's the judgment. But if you recognize at the simplest form that we're all good and bad.
Yeah. If you're both bad or if you're both incomplete, if you know that, right? Then if you knock the vase over, and I would most likely say, oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't put it. And then you're going to say, oh, I'm sorry, I should be more careful. Then we are happy. If they're both good,
nothing to prove. You're not trying to prove that you're right. That's why fights go on for so long anyways.
Because some of them needs to be right. No, we don't need to be right. We make mistakes and we can just, okay, is it the best way to do things in that current situation? No, you knock the base over. Okay, you cannot do it anymore. Okay, then you should apologize. Done, right? And I can say, oh, I shouldn't put it there. Something like that. Yeah. Wow. And I didn't explain this one, but let me share this lifetime story that maybe they can relate. So my wife, I married her because this is a way of summarizing how we perceive things, okay? My wife, I married her because she's a lovely lady and she's very, very nice, right? And I have a tendency to take the jacket off and put it, right? And she didn't like it. So she bought me a hook, right? Near the entrance. And it has 6 hooks, right? And she told me, oh, I bought it for us. We can share. What does it mean to share? If we have 6 hooks to hang the coat or jacket, how many do you think I get as a married man? And if she told me we can share.
3.
That's how we learn in mathematics, not in real life. She told me I can get 1. Like, okay. That's not how I learned in math class, but it's fine, right? but I asked her, okay, is it okay for me to get 2 because I love you so much? And she said, yeah, okay, I love you too. You can have 2, right? So I got 2. Then 1 week later, on my hook, there's a teeny tiny jacket. My son, at that time, he was like less than 1 year old. Teeny tiny jacket. Now I only have 1, right? And then a month later, I went to teach in Japan and came back to the States. And like, oh, there's 2 teeny tiny jackets. Now, I had 2 before. One is taken with a teeny tiny jacket from my son, and the other one's taken. Now, how much do I have? How many do I have right now?
0.
0. Now, a lot of people say, oh, you cannot be happy, right? And I'm happy. Why? Because the difference between samurai and the difference between modern people right now is we add things, they subtract things. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
When you were born, what did you have?
Your life.
And materialistically, you have
Nothing.
So we can just add. Before the fuchs, I had nothing. I'm happy because I didn't have it anyway. Why do I care? And look at all the things I have. I can have clothes. I have katana. Like I have my car, right? I have wife and a kid. Yeah, okay. I didn't have any of those. I'm happy. I'm adding things from 0. I don't subtract. If I lose my house, yeah, okay. I still have my wife, my katana, my energy, my key, like everything. Yeah, I don't subtract. People like to subtract. I don't subtract. We don't subtract. We add.
Yeah, it's so important. I mean, especially if, you've had wealth at some point and then you lose the wealth, you can live in a perpetual state of unhappiness, not remembering that you still have more wealth than you ever had before. But because of the difference, you're all of a sudden unhappy every day.
Yeah. If you want to compare from 0, like when you were born.
Yeah.
You couldn't even speak. Now you can speak. You couldn't even walk. Now you can walk. But a lot of times, and this one as well, in law of nature, now you can walk, right? Why? Why can you walk?
I grew. I learned.
You learned. How many times did you fail? Do you remember?
Countless.
Yeah, countless. Why don't people do that? Everyone can walk, right? Every single person that I know who's successful in life, in marriage, yeah, they fail many times. They didn't give up, right? It's okay to fail. It's not okay to not stand up, right? And we can fail many times until the day we die, right? But we keep trying, right? That's like samurai spirit. We are not gonna give up. We're gonna do the best. Just because we got my arm chopped off, I'm not gonna give up. Just because I have a fever doesn't mean I'm not gonna train. I'm gonna train anyway. There's no, like, if you have a fever in the battlefield, do you think they're gonna just go easy on you? No, right? We cannot complain. We take responsibility. The katana is the significance or or the image or the token of taking responsibility.
Radical responsibility.
Yeah.
There was another thing you shared that I think we've been talking a bit about relationship, and you talked about, I think in Western culture, it's like we got to talk about everything and you got to explain your desires and constantly be expressing your needs. And you talked about a way to actually listen deeper, to actually feel the other person's, like feel. And like when you say listen to your wife, it's not just listening to what she says. It's like listening, sensing, listening deeper, which is like lovemaking, right? It's like if someone, it's never the best lovemaking when they're like, okay, go a little faster. Okay, move a little bit like this. You're like, oh, what am I doing? Am I a machine? Like it doesn't feel good, right? Like you want to be intuitively listening and feeling and sensing.
Listening, right? We need to listen to a lot of people. And listen in Japanese, we call kiku. Ki is a ki, right? Chi. And ku is to come. Anything, we need to listen. But we can listen to the eyes, with the eyes, ears, mouth, or hands, right? And we need to listen to the nature, right?
And is that particular to samurai culture, or is that Japanese culture in
Japanese culture in general, I would say. Samurai culture more so because we have to risk our lives. And we actually have to fight as well. But Japanese language by itself is more listener responsible rather than speaker responsible. Because if I degrade someone, like let's say, if I degrade you, Aubrey-san, then you're allowed to kill me. Then I don't want to die, so I'm going to be very polite and courteous. So then you learn to control your emotion, right? So that's why Japanese people tend to be extremely polite still nowadays. A lot of the Western language, English for sure, is speaker responsible. If you cannot convey the meaning, convey the message, it's your fault, right? And Japanese culture, even if I'm not speaking, not conveying the message, if you cannot read, it's your fault. So the common way of fighting, but you didn't tell me that doesn't apply to us. If I cannot sense what she's feeling, I'm that low level. Right? So I need to be able to sense. And I think almost all the Japanese kids have experience. When you go home from school, when you're like 5 or 6, right? Like maybe 6, 7, 8, you go home and you can sense if your mother's angry or not before you enter the house. Even before, like, oh, something's different. And then you open the door and you behave like that. Because you know that there's anger energy coming in. Because we are really extremely sensitive, right? So I think it's for us, the practice is not only in the dojo, in the studio, swinging katana all the time, swinging swords all the time. It's like how to serve other people, right? If her glass is empty, okay, I'm gonna pour some water, right? If she wants to go, right, it doesn't really matter. Like I'm gonna open the door for her, right? Because okay, she wanna go in. Okay, I'm not gonna. She can. I know she can open the door. But she's important. I'm going to just open the door for her because she's important. I don't, like, I do the same thing for my sensei and to my wife. He's stronger. He's better, right? He has more social status too, but I do serve them, right? I do serve him. Same way. I don't protect her because she's weaker. No, because I think she's important. And I don't know why some people don't like the idea of me or like us protecting someone we love. It just amazed me sometimes.
Yeah. We had we had the bookend and we were, just moving around a little bit lightly and we were going fast, but with aggression. And it was very easy for me to parry the strike because you were creating the energy and the will and intent to do it. And I could read it, happen.
Yeah. And now the question is, am I moving fast or slow for the last two? The first one, look, he can evade. This one, I want you to see how fast I'm moving. Yeah?
Yeah.
Now.
Wow.
I stopped and then you moved, right?
Yeah.
Was it slow or fast?
Slower.
It was slower.
And then in another way, you would move not faster, but actually slower if you actually measured the speed, but you did it and it felt so much faster because you actually emptied yourself of like the intent to strike.
Yeah.
And so it was like I couldn't tell when it was coming.
Yeah.
And so I had to react really like shocked and like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I think that's another way of listening. And there's actually an unbelievable study that breaks also science where they have somebody sitting in front of a computer and then there's images that are going to be shown. One image is of a baby or some flowers or something lovely. And another image is a terrible image of war or something. And actually they have sensors measuring their heart and measuring their brain. And somehow the body would respond before the next image flashed. The body would respond in either like fear or anxiety if the image was going to be negative, or it'd be relaxed if the image was going to be positive. And there was no way that they could know other than just somehow understanding what was about to happen, even though it was coming from a computer.
Yeah.
And it's like there's a way that our bodies are listening to reality.
Yeah.
That's just different if you actually allow yourself and not allow your brain to try and think about it, but you just feel what is going to happen, which applies to martial arts, but it also applies to relationship, also applies to friendship.
Yeah, because, like, we just need to really listen to the body. We need to first attune to the body, to the law of nature, because a lot of people's body is kind of messed up already. The system is not there. Overeating, over drinking, right? And like things like that. So we need to start taking care of our body first to try not lifting weight or like, not juicing up or not building super huge muscle or anything like that. I'm not talking about that, but we need to be more natural. And then we can listen to the body, and then we can start to be natural in a way. And then we can start to sense whatever thing's coming, and then it's right. If our body is messed up, if the sense is messed up, nothing's going to work. Like, let's say the cell phone, even the cell phone, right? I have a cell phone, like, let's say, for example, another law of nature. If I call you, only your phone will ring, no? Why? Everyone else has a phone, why your phone will ring. Right? Because, and then if your phone is on the plane mode, I'm doing the same thing. I'm trying to call you, but I cannot call you, no? Because your phone is projecting the signal of your number first. That's why I can come in.
Yeah. Oh, it's open to receive.
Yeah. Open to receive. Like channel, like NBC, ABC, or like whatever. Like you're not sending the signal. You're sending the signal so that it's gonna, because signal is everywhere, right? But if you are not projecting, nothing's gonna come in. But what kind of signal you want to project? Someone negative, they're always projecting a negative thing. Everything will be negative for them. We train so that we can only send the positive signal. So that's why no matter how miserable the situation is, I can just feel happy. I don't have control over the situation 100% of the time, right? But I have the control over my heart 100% if you train. And then that's why I can safely say, you can put me in any situation and I feel fine. Because I don't care about the situation. I'm not going to try to control the situation. I'll do my best. Okay? I'll do my best. But I can accept. And I can find the way to feel happy. Or actually, no, my body can find the way to feel happy. And then you're really just trying. Because once you learn how to ride a bicycle, you can ride a bicycle, right?
Yep.
Same thing as achieving that state. Can you fall when you're riding a bicycle? Yeah. Aren't you controlling the damage? You're pretending falling. You're not really falling, right? Same thing. If you have that, it's automatic. You really cannot. You can pretend to be negative. You can never be negative. It's just already impossible. Then, obviously, you're not going to obviously be scared of death anyway because you accept everything anyway. You don't want to die, so you do your best not to die. But if that happens, then it's fine.
We did an exercise where you projected positive energy. So you had us slumped over in kind of a sad hunch position. You projected and then had someone try to push us over from the back. You projected, and it was very easy to push us over in this sad position. It was very easy. Like we couldn't resist. And then you projected positive energy. You projected your ki to give us strength. And then all of a sudden, even though we were in the same posture, we were much stronger. So you were able to do that. You were, let's call it 8 feet away.
Yeah.
You were able to do that. Now, do you have to be in proximity with somebody to send them that energy?
I just need to know the person.
You need to have that
if I'm
connection.
in Japan, I already know you. If you want me to, I can send the same
So
energy.
I could text you and be like, hey, you know, Riichi-san, I need some energy.
Technically, we can do that. So it's the same.
Okay, well, I won't abuse the privilege. You know, I'll just make sure it's when I really need it.
That's the same thing. Even if you can just imagine the experience, you already feel.
Right.
So it's really the energy is like that. Nature is very gentle and kind to us, as long as we are kind to them, right? So it's really just that. So when we eat, one way for everyone to be able to eat better, we say in Japan, have you been to Japan before?
Only when I was a kid.
Okay. Do you know how we say it? Like bon appetit or enjoy a meal?
No.
Here in the society like this, we say enjoy a meal or bon appetit, bon appetito, provecho, whatever language they use. I don't know all the language, so it may not be Japanese specific. But all the other languages tend to be in between humans. In Japan, we say Itadakimasu, right? Itadakimasu means thank you for your sacrifice and sorry for taking it. So all the debate of like eating, eating meat is cruel or eating veggie is fine. Yeah, okay, we treat everything as living things, including even like desk. This is a living thing for us.
Still made of the force.
Yeah. And the clothes and things like that. So we say itadakimasu, so they will appreciate more. So we can actually have more life force. Even with the same meal, we can get better energy, right? So I don't treat anything different, right? When I actually have to throw my t-shirt away, I really thank it. Like, thank you very much. And then throw it away. or give to the goodwill, or whatever you can do. But yeah, so gratitude, total gratitude, and it's just a practicing of it. You actually need to practice it because you need to embody it. If you just listen to it, they can see and think like, oh yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, of course. But if they're not practicing it, they cannot do it. Being able to do is way better than being able to understand. Because if you feel loved, even without understanding and explain, it's fine, no? We don't need to feel love. And that's why, like, I love my wife. And if you ask me the reason why, I don't know. Because she's special to me. Do I know the reason? Do I need to know the reason? No, I don't need to know the reason. I don't even want to know the reason. Because then if I tap into that one, then if I see something different, then am I going to hate her? No.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for keeping this tradition alive. I mean, obviously for people who don't know on the podcast, my first big tattoo is a big samurai and a cherry blossom tree on my
cherry
wrist.
blossom tree.
Yeah.
That is a representation of samurai too.
Yeah.
The cherry blossom.
The impermanence of life, right?
Yeah. If they need to go to Japan, I would suggest late March or early April because it's sakura season. Sakura is for us, it's a very special flower because it only blossoms a week or two. It's like our life. And it blossoms, and then I don't know, like if the strong wind blew at night, it's gonna be gone, right? It's just like our life. So we live like sakura. So we need to cherish each moment as if it's the last, and then we're not gonna get angry. We're not gonna be mad. We're gonna just try our best to be the best person, best version of ourselves in this current moment. So.
That was one of the most beautiful parts of the movie Last Samurai that I saw is when, the sensei, he was always looking for the perfect cherry blossom, perfect. And he's searching for the perfect blossom. And then in his final moments before death, he looked out and he saw the sakura and he said, they're all perfect.
Yeah.
Like every moment is perfect. This moment is perfect. That flower is perfect.
Yeah.
And it was like the moment of enlightenment for him. Right before he died, he achieved what he was looking for.
Yeah, and he died happily.
Yeah, he died as a Yoda. Yeah, that's beautiful. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate you, Sensei Kitano, and thank you everybody for tuning in. This is amazing.
Thanks so much.
Is there anywhere people can follow anything that you want to share, or?
Well, the tradition, they can type my name in, and I have a school in Los Angeles, Tokyo, and Warsaw, Poland right now. But the one I'm particularly focusing on right now is called katori.shinto.ryu, which is the oldest samurai arts. And then you really can learn how samurai used to train. And then we have, this one probably takes 10 years to learn. But if you type katori.shinto.ryu, or type my name, Riichi Kitano, it should pop up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning into this video. Make sure you hit subscribe. Follow me at Aubrey Marcus. Check out the Aubrey Marcus Podcast, available everywhere. And leave a comment. Let me know if this video resonated or what else you would like to hear from me in the future. Thank you so much.